Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Matt. Today we're going to be doing another pick a card reading where we're just going to bring through messages from Spirit, whatever it is that the collectives watching need to hear at the moment. Of course, this is a general reading, so always be discerning and only take the messages that apply to you. And if the messages are not giving you what you need, then please leave the reading. I started seeing some more negative comments, not a lot, but on my last video. And yeah, just use your discernment and, know what's best for you. And if it's not serving you, then click off definitely. But with that being said, welcome. We have 3 piles as usual today. Pile 1, we have this chapstick here. Pile 2, we have this blue lotus essential oil. And pile 3, we have this, what's this called again? Palmarosa essential oil. So I did shuffle the cards for each pile, so those, I don't know what they are. Those cards will, feed into the reading. And let's just center our energies and synchronize and intend that angels, God, source of the highest white light, love, and truth, give us what we need today. With that said, we'll begin with pile 1. Hi there, pile 1. So you guys chose this chapstick here and this card, which we will get into. I briefly want to just sit with the energies that want to come through for you guys who picked this pile and see if I can pick up on anything that's coming through here. So initially I was seeing the Ace of Wands card, which is all about an inspiring new beginning, a spark of energy that sets you on a new path, even just within yourself. It doesn't have to be necessarily the full culmination of a path, but just the beginning, like I said, spark that gets you going. I was also seeing netting, like a net. So this might indicate the energy of like taking a leap and knowing that you will be caught by the universe. The universe will always have that safety net underneath you to move in a new direction that feels positive and, again, new and fresh and revitalizing, and makes you feel connected with life itself. Again, I'm also seeing the color green, which is your heart center, opening up to your emotional truth, emotional connection with others. And then I was seeing falling leaves, which can talk about the autumn season, which is in several months from when I'm filming this, but the autumn season is standing out in some type of way. But falling leaves also represent the falling away of that which no longer serves you, so that you can blossom as the new version of you. So those are the initial overall energies, but let's see what this card is. This is the Starman Tarot, which is a David Bowie deck. Wow, we have the Tower. So this is all about shaking off any old dense energies that cannot go with us, that do not reflect the new foundation that we're building and laying down for an amazing new reality. And this can come through in our lives as a sort of falling apart or breakdown of the old paradigm, old relationships, old ways of being, thinking, seeing the world. This can be sort of harsh realities being made known very suddenly, but this can also be surprising events that come out of nowhere and completely blow our expectations out of the water. So it's not always a bad thing, but it is generally within the context of surprise or sudden intense energies, for better or for worse. I mean, it's always for better, right? Because even when there are perceived negative breakdowns, there's still love to be gleaned from the experience, and there's like authenticity and truth to be gleaned from the experience, and that can be difficult to embrace and lean into. But the Tower is divine energy because it's major arcana, so this is a big energy of intervention and sudden sweeping change that occurs within an instant, seemingly. So some of you guys may be experiencing a complete reconfiguration of your concept of how things were supposed to go. For some of you may have had situations fall apart around you or are currently going through an internal breakdown where the things that you were attached to previously are falling away, and there may be a sense of discomfort for some of you within that process. But again, there's a reminder that this is divine and that we are, human beings who are here to learn and to remember our divinity. And sometimes the ego needs these sort of jolts to wake us up to something that wants to be known. Perhaps on a deeper level that we haven't been aware of, but this is always making us aware of something, or giving us information that makes us pay attention or not take something for granted in certain cases. So this will apply differently for everybody watching. It's not just one sort of scenario here. But we're going to pull more from the Starman Tarot and see what else Spirit wants to bring through right now around you. This energy may just be validating some interesting energies showing up for you at the moment, or that are wanting to, or that have already. Again, different for everybody. Pile 1, we have the Page of Cups. Interesting. So this is definitely going to be painting us a picture here. 5 of Pentacles. Ace of Cups. Wow. 8 of Swords. So there's some sort of, we have emotional energy, an emotional connection, heart chakra energy showing up like I was seeing before. So this is confirming what I was channeling at the beginning, that there is a heart opening taking place, but it's happening in a very unexpected way for some of you. And it's bringing out this very vulnerable part of yourself, your inner child, and how that part of you engages with love, and how the mind and your past are creating some type of reaction response that comes from not knowing, not seeing how good things actually are going to be or are, and how you're actually being broken open to feel more. So again, this will translate differently for different people going through different things, but whatever breakdown is going on, or whatever surprising energy is showing up in your life, it's all meant to again blow your expectations out of the water, and crack you open so that you can feel and flow with emotions. For some of you, there may be a sense of abandonment, rejection, feeling without in some way, feeling needful in some way of something. That will show up differently for different people watching. But again, the mind here is creating more problems than may be necessary, because the Eight of Swords is all about those self-imposed bars that imprison us, but we can walk out at any time. It just involves seeing things in a different way, and that Tower energy can definitely force us to see things in a different way. For some of you, this may be like a love connection coming through that has sort of made itself known in your life, but it is part of this heart opening process. It just may be triggering up some stuff. This connection may have been unexpected or not what you were initially projecting for that type of thing in your life. But And there may be some just stuff coming up for some of you if that narrative is yours. 10 of Cups. So the implications around this for you are around your vision of a happy, loving life. Perhaps some of you with a partner, and this is very much coming up for you. You know, what does my long term look like? It feels like this feels almost at stake, like something is at stake as far in your mind, as far as like this happy like relationship or marriage for some of you, or just having a happy life in general. So for some of you, this person, someone may have come in to sort of open your heart, and you're wondering if this is for the long term here, but it's like your mind isn't really helping you understand the truth of this. It's just sort of creating a little bit more confusion. And the Five of Pentacles is highlighting again that need and hunger that you have for this fulfillment here. With the Page of Pentacles showing up at the bottom of the deck, this is denoting the need for things to be taken a step at a time, little bits at a time, so that something can grow and develop at a healthy pace. But this shows the beginning stages of something. We have 2 pages showing up here. So there is the beginning of something new being blossomed here. And it just may require patience and the willingness to allow old stuff or mental illusions or patterns that don't serve to come up and be broken down again. So for pile 1, angels, what else wants to show up? Yeah, I'm seeing people holding hands. So there is some sort of connection coming through from some of you watching this. Knight of Wands. Okay. Interesting. So a lot of you do have this drive and desire to really get out there and move and have a sense of adventure and passion in your life. You guys are fired up. We do have the Lovers card showing up at the bottom of the deck. So this deck can talk about this divine connection that is implied here in the energy. And again, this deep desire to like race forward and move ahead with a sense of passion and adventure and fun. And so because you're having that fire within you, that inspiration, I was seeing the Ace of Wands at the beginning. It feels like maybe because we're getting those 2 pages that were showing up, there might be this desire to take things faster than is natural or healthy, just because of this energy that you have like swirling within you. For some of you might have pent up energy that wants to be expressed. And so maybe if something new is coming your way in as far as a potential relationship, there might be the desire to just really go gung-ho and dive into it. But there's also that guidance from the universe to really allow things to happen a step at a time, because we are talking about a divine union, and those are generally very intense with this Tower energy, where when 2 souls come together and they're very similar and mirror one another, they do tend to trigger and activate the old wounds that need to go, that are standing in the way of love, in the way of a heart opening, in the way of the inner child shining in its purity and truth. So yeah, let's get more angels for pile number 1. This is the Knight of Cups. So this is about really being open to love and wanting to give and receive love and express love with somebody, and somebody really having those feelings for you as well. But because we're having the pages and the knights showing up next to each other, there's an energy coming through of like development and like growth happening here in this situation. So it does feel like more growth is happening. We have the 2 of Wands at the bottom of the deck. So this is talking about someone who's sort of in this position where they're being made to look at everything and assess, everything that's come before and how that's led up to this current point in time, and how that informs the path ahead. And just sort of assessing. So you may be doing that. You may be in that position right now. And if you're dealing with another person in a romantic context, they may be dealing with that at the moment, of just sort of looking at everything. And perhaps wrestling for some of them, or even with you, about some of these energies and emotions and feelings that are coming up in this process of possible connection. And just, again, seeing the ways in which the mind is sort of creating issues. But let's get a little bit more. What else wants to be known for pile 1, angels, for the highest good? 10 of Pentacles over the 10 of Cups. So there are long-term implications here showing up in the energy, guys. And I think because that is intense and important to when you're choosing or tuning into long-term partner energy that is stable and solid, it does feel like a lot is at stake because it's an important decision. So I feel like that's why some of you are really kind of concerned and feeling the need to have clarity and understanding around this, because you really want something stable and solid and that's going to take you far into the future. And that is where you're being guided here through this situation, whatever it is. It's just a process, as always, And interesting, at the bottom we have the 4 of Wands, which is more divine counterpart energy, more happy home and like happy harmonious union coming through. So we have the Lovers, we have this 10 of Cups, 10 of Pentacles, and the 4 of Wands, and the Ace of Cups, Page of Cups. So a lot of you guys watching this pile, this is about a new love situation that has presented itself, maybe out of the blue, or just, again, sort of a curveball that has come into your world, and maybe you fully not understanding the whole 360-degree view of the situation, but feeling the weight of it in some way, or some type of significance around it, but still being confused and feeling some triggers coming up, which is normal, okay? But this is a really good sign. You are in alignment currently energetically with this sort of divine union energy. But again, there's always, a trade-off as far as like needing to do the work as that comes into your field. It brings up so much stuff, like I said before, and that's just a process of working through and being very present. What else wants to come through for pile 1, God? But again, a lot of stability is being aligned for you at this time, materially within a relationship, within your life, and emotionally speaking. So really solid foundations are being laid right now. The Wheel of Fortune. So this is positive events happening for you in your favor. Prosperity being highlighted here. Again, next to the 10 of Pentacles, which is a very prosperous energy, we have the Wheel of Fortune. So you must know that whatever situation it's good, it's positive, and there's positive things yet to come within the context of this situation. But just, keep present. Like I said, we have the Empress card showing up. So this is asking you to really, really tune into your feminine energy, your feminine presence and groundedness, and your intuition at the same time, and to follow this like intuitive just sense that is guiding you in a particular direction. If you feel called in a direction, it's okay to follow that call and that intuition, and yet also be open and receptive to truth, to what God has for you, because as you're embodying your divine feminine energy, you're receiving all that you need, right? You're receiving that, and this empty void space that you're feeling is going to be filled through you just opening up to God, right? and to knowing that positive changes are currently happening within you, within your life. 10 of Swords. Wow. This is intense. And we have the 9 of Swords underneath that. So this is all about ending toxic ways of thinking and engaging with your reality that come from the mental space. That's why this stuff is being purged out, because you're seeing, oh, this actually isn't helpful. Later down the line, in hindsight, you're going to look back at this moment in time where you may be having mental disruption going on, and you're going to see how that was something that was dissolving and breaking down away from your field and ending in your life, so that you could begin a new journey coming from the heart center, which is open, receptive, ready for love and abundance to be showered upon you, knowing that that's already there, and not letting any mental falsities get in the way of that or trick you otherwise. Some of you guys have really been through it as far as connection is concerned in one way or another. It feels like you guys have been burned in the past, and that's led you to be guarded or overanalyze every situation, making sure that you're not getting wrapped up in the wrong energy, but still somehow some of you may have ended up getting wrapped up in energies that were just sort of reflective of more of this overthinking or anxiety and concern, as opposed to just settling and relaxing into what is love and true and easeful and present. But that's all shifting and changing and ending right now. So that's why you're feeling this intense tower energy, because those mental programs are falling away, and that's not comfortable. Okay, we have the 3 of Swords. Gosh, guys, you guys have just been through, you guys are working through intense heartbreak from the past. This can even go back to childhood, guys. This can go back to feeling very, very alone at certain times in your life. I am picking up heavy like childhood wounds here for some of you, and how within the darkness you guys learned how to cling on to whatever you could in your mind that felt remotely safe or remotely loving, and that just trained you into having connections that limited you in some way, because you were coming from that limited place of not feeling loved or understood, and that just sort of perpetuated throughout different relationships for some of you. But I just feel spirit guides around you, loving you, and really there's a lesson here in learning how to receive that love without another person, and receive that love through the divine and through your own spiritual journey, and for having grace and compassion for yourself in everything that you've gone through, everything that is still changing and shifting within you and falling away, and embracing a sense of the unknown within what's coming next, because what's coming in next is new. The past is dead and gone, guys, and what's coming in is going to be fulfilling, long-term, safe, healthy, stable energy, with somebody who can show up passionately and emotionally within a connection and allow your inner child, both of your inner childs, to feel safe. But again, there's just an unavoidable unknown aspect to this situation, 2222 on the timer, where it involves faith and trust, and allowing your heartbreak to come back up so that it can be released and healed and shown some love and compassion. We have the 9 of Cups showing up at the bottom of the deck. So again, this is kind of like that element of surprise that with the Tower, that things are going to actually go much better than your mind is letting you feel and think, just because some old stuff may be coming up. It's like all of your wishes, deepest wishes and desires are on track. If you're aligning with this reading and resonating, you're on track emotionally to be receiving all that you desire and need within love, within life, just for yourself. and in a partnership. It's the mind and the old energy that's just sort of making this seem like it's not true in some capacity. And some of you guys may be very critical with yourself, that like feeling like you're delusional or you're always projecting or something like that. But I just want you to know that the loving energies that are showing up in your life right now are very real, and you can trust them. It's just, like I said, it has an effect. For as much light as is showing up, there is equal darkness that must come up as well to be released. Okay. Actually, I'm going to pull now from a different deck to get more. And then we'll close this out. Pile 1. God. Pile 1. What is showing up? 5 of Wands. Yeah, that's that inner conflict and feeling in conflict in some way with the things that are showing up here. And there's the 9 of Cups again. Where did that other 9 of Cups go? Was that, oh, that was at the bottom of the deck. Yeah, so 9 of Cups. It's like being in conflict with the fact that a wish may actually be coming true, that something fulfilling is actually coming into your life. And the closer and closer that that reality gets, it's like the resistance to that, any residual resistance to that also comes up. Like I was saying, I don't want to be redundant, but this is just being reiterated here, that you have a wish fulfillment that's coming in. It's just about removing conflict to that. This energy around you guys is very reciprocating of how you feel and think about this situation, with the Lovers again showing up at the bottom of the deck, guys. Very mirrored energy showing up, and that's mirroring in the wounds, but also mirroring in the joy and the love that's there. So again, don't gaslight yourself in this situation. It's not helpful. And I understand totally, and Spirit understands where this inner conflict is coming from, but it's just again, illusion. It's not seeing things necessarily for what they are. And the truth that's showing up here from the angels is very mirrored, reciprocal, loving, divine energy that's happening for a reason in a positive way. Some of you might be concerned that things are happening for a reason, but in a negative way, to teach you another lesson, or to show you how wrong you are again. But that's just not the case this time. You guys are growing because you're more embodying of your Empress energy. In this situation, though, there's also aspects of your walls and defenses being triggered up, and perhaps this other person's walls and defenses being triggered up. But again, it's mirrored energy, and it's just because both you and this other party are moving out of old energy and still maybe untrusting of the new positive energy. Because, you know, when we experience trauma and challenges and disappointment and heartbreak, we never go into those situations thinking that it's going to end in pain. And so we then stop trusting ourselves because our trust led us into those hurtful situations. So those are the defensive mechanisms that are showing up here in this dynamic, in this situation, because there's just a apprehension to trust the good potential showing up here. Death card at the bottom. So this is all saying, again, the past is dead and gone, and the new reality, the path forward, is going to be very different than what has been. So that's why it's just unfamiliar, and there's a resistance going on here in the energy. And again, it's okay. It is okay. 6 of Wands talks about overcoming any difficulties or obstacles within a situation energetically. And it also feels like this person recognizes you for your energy and your spirit and your greatness in some capacity. This person or this other party that is showing up around you may also have a very magnetic, charismatic, just really amazing energy that you look up to in some way. 4 of Wands showing up again. This is like divine counterpart energy showing up. And balanced, harmonious energy. So 1111 showing up. This is like mirrored energy again coming through. So both of you are having the same sort of experience in your own ways. The Fool. Again, this new path feels a little bit risky because it's brand new. It's not like anything before, and it implies, excuse me, I'm having trouble talking. It implies a whole new journey that is unknown, and so that's why there's also this inner resistance, because on a deeper level, both of you are understanding that there's something happening that once you go down the path, it's kind of like you can't go back. And so there's just that sense of really needing to lean into trust here, trusting yourself, trusting the universe and the God in what is they're presenting to you, and trusting that another person is actually reciprocating everything that you're thinking and feeling as well. There's that Knight of Wands energy showing up again. So this can talk about a very in and out energy, and that might be what's showing up actually initially. Sorry, some of you guys may be experiencing sort of somebody who in their defensive energy is kind of in and out, or where it feels like a flame that is burning bright but fast, and that energy may be triggering up some past stuff. But we'll get more. I don't want the reading to go that much longer. Okay. Yeah, so the mind, again, is not seeing the full picture of what's going on here, and it's not helping the situation. So it does feel best to just sort of settle the mental body. If you keep doing what you're doing right now, Pile 1, like you're almost out of this kind of dense, dark wood that maybe you've been navigating for a while. It's like you're tired, you're exhausted. That's part of where the resistance is also coming in, but you're almost out of the woods. So just keep going. Don't give up. Keep doing what you're doing, and don't stop doing your own internal healing and work and transforming, because you are transforming, and this process and this situation is transforming, leading you to what you want and need. Any final messages for Pile 1, angels? 8 of Wands talks about communication, movement, travel. For some of you, another location may be involved, long distance for some of you. But this is movement coming through, and progression, and look what's showing up again at the bottom here, the 4 of Wands. So we're getting more happy, harmonious union energy around this situation, guys. It just, King of Pentacles, whatever person that you're dealing with is a solid, grounded, stable energy, and they are, like, it feels like their presence is anchored in your reality somehow, in the physical reality, meaning that this person isn't going anywhere. They're not, even though they may be exhibiting behavior that makes you feel triggered because it's sort of in and out or something, but it feels like overall their soul is not going anywhere in your life if you allow it to remain in your life, because you always have the choice here. And the 7 of Pentacles just talks about that, planting of seeds and allowing things to grow and develop naturally, and just being patient. And obviously no one likes the word patience, right? Because sometimes you're like, well, what does that even mean? But it just means to allow things to flow, and for you to flow, and for this other party to flow. Okay, any final notes for Pile 1? King of Cups, another king energy showing itself for you guys. So this person is mature in some way. This person does have space to hold. This person does emotionally see you. And again, there's this sense that they're there in your life, but it's just taking time, and the subconscious needs time to just filter out some gunk and some stuff, some old programs that maybe you weren't aware of before, which is why there's some uncomfortable energies showing up. Probably for both of you, because this is such a mirrored energy. Yeah, again, that mirrored energy, the balance of the yin and yang, kind of two energies. This is what's showing up. Wow, we have the Judgment. A lot of angelic energy around this situation for you guys. Again, very exposing. It strips you down to like your inner child and to like just feeling vulnerable, you know what I mean? And like where your deepest fears lie. But this is a very divine situation. And the Temperance card is all about alchemy and like mixing different energies together to create something new. So that's what's happening, is that both of you, like you and this other party, the energies are sort of being like introduced to one another. It's like when you have a dog and then you get a new dog and you slowly introduce the new dog to the old dog to see if they get along and to create the new dynamic. Or when you meet a new friend, when you introduce two different things together gently and slowly, you're kind of testing the waters, or just easing the energies together so that they can come together in a healthy way. And to come together in a healthy way, anything toxic remaining must be purged out, filtered out. So that's just what's happening. It's a very healing process. So even if discomfort's showing up, you can trust that this is very, very positive and beneficial for you and whoever else is involved here. Knight of Swords, Five of Pentacles. So this is just saying that the need to speed up the process comes from just feeling without in some way. So this is the energy that you can like look at within yourself or work on, meditate on. If you're feeling triggered or wanting to race farther ahead than is natural, it comes from a deep hunger and need for something that you can actually learn how to go back and look at your childhood and see where certain needs weren't met and why you feel needful. But also, you know, I lost my train of thought. I can't even remember what I want to say. But it's just to, look at where this is coming from and be able to meet your own needs, basically. And through just continuing to heal and come into balance and transform, things are coming into balance. Things are being made right in your life, pile one. That is very clear from all of this energy showing up. So I hope some of this resonates and applies to your situation in a way that you find validating or helpful, clarifying in some way. I am starting to do personal readings again, and my email is down below, so do get in touch if that is something you're interested in. And also like, comment, share, subscribe if you haven't already. And I appreciate you guys so much, and I'll see you next time, okay? Bye. Hi, Pal One. So you guys chose this blue lotus oil here with this card, which I did shuffle for, so we will be looking at that. And yeah, today we're just going to be getting messages from Spirit for you, for your highest good, for your highest healing, whatever messages can do the greatest good for the people viewing this. So just immediately tapping into your pile, guys, I was hearing bells and bows. So that's very symbolic and can apply in infinite different ways. But the energy around bells that I was getting was some sort of communication coming in, some sort of alert coming through, some sort of clarity coming through. And bells are often associated with angels. So this is also angel communication. Some of you may actually be angel channelers or intuitives yourself. And so your connection with the angels may be especially highlighted at this time, and really asking them to show up for you, 111 on the timer, in a powerful way, and listening to them and their guidance for you, which is always going to be loving and supportive. And the bows, that, I don't know, that can show up differently for different people. It can talk about tying up bows on old chapters of your life, and when they say putting a bow on it, it's like closing that out and sealing that era of your life and moving on to the next. So resolution energy showing up for some of you in your life. Cycles closing out and beginning something new. What else wants to come through? I'm seeing Pikachu. This is not the first reading where I've seen like Pokemon showing up, so I don't know if one of my viewers likes Pokemon or did as a child. Okay. I'm seeing cannabis leaves for someone here, so some of you, what's the message around that? Some of you may feel that it's actually at this stage dysregulating your system, or it's not helping anymore, and so for some of you, you might feel called to ease off of that if that's something that you have been doing. And yeah, it's just a personal choice, obviously, but it's about how you feel. But I do get a sense of discomfort for some of you, where it's starting to not feel as good, but take that as it resonates because it can be helpful for others. So just use your own judgment. What else? I'm seeing like Indiana Jones's whip, but it's like whipping around something and grabbing it. So I don't know what that is talking about. Or I'm hearing the word bull whip. So is that a thing for like rodeo or something? Or a matador, something or other? What else is coming through for pile 2, God? Choices, decisions, patience, family support, familial support. Jesus is coming through. Just the word Jesus. I'm not channeling Jesus. I'm hearing corporation, corporate, financial institution, celebration, Nancy, the name Nancy. That's very specific for someone, so not for everybody. Okay, well, I'm just gonna jump into the cards here. Let's see what this one is. Wow, the moon. So this is all about your intuition and, your connection with your dark, shadowy feminine and the unseen realms within yourself and within life. 444 on the timer, which is an angel number. Again, angel energy. And I'm just getting this sense of these guides around you. Angelic presence, guides, celestial presence showing up for you that is really communicating through your intuition, through your gut feelings, through the things that are not maybe obvious but are in there. And I know that sometimes doesn't help when we're like, okay, well, what's that? What's the message if it's subtle? How do I really trust it? But this is also giving me like dancing energy. So some of you dancing or moving your body in sort of graceful, flowing ways would be helpful to really get in tune with your own energy, your own connection to the divine and your intuition. This can also talk about uncertainty and the unknown and sort of fearing the unknown and like changes coming in that might feel unknown, or parts of ourselves that are coming up that are emerging from the subconscious that feel uncomfortable in some way. Any kind of subconscious fears that might be surfacing. Okay. So that's just the initial energy. But again, I'm getting a very psychic energy as well for this pile. So I think a lot of you guys are very psychic and do sort of mystical arts or into shadow work or something like that. Angels, guides of the highest white light, love, and truth only. For pile number 2 and their unique journey at this time, what messages of support want to be known? Yeah, I'm seeing that like whip or a chain being wrapped around someone again. So I don't know if you felt like someone has had their chain or whip wrapped around you or something like that in, I don't know, a threatening way, take it as it resonates, or constricting way, or aggressive way. I don't know. Or maybe it can also, in a positive way, imply you are like focusing on something and like wrapping your energy around it and bringing it in. There's a shadow and light aspect to everything, guys. You know that. 8 of Swords. So this more unknowns showing up here, where the mind isn't quite giving us what we need. The mind is kind of getting in the way here, or our subconscious fears are sort of keeping us stuck in some type of way. 7 of Cups, more confusion and lack of clarity here. Wow, interesting. Okay, so Spirit, we're getting the sense of lack of clarity, not seeing clearly, having a sense of illusion. Okay, angels, for the highest good of pile 2, what else wants to be known? 9 of Pentacles. So this talks about your own independence, your own connection with self and abundance, and your connection with nature and the divine, and just knowing and trusting that you are all good and have your needs met in some way. Interesting how we have this ghostly energy appearing, past energies, this bat. She's focusing on this bat, which is kind of like something scary. So feeling maybe like something scary is going to happen that might be related to your past in some type of way. And again, not seeing clearly, maybe because of the past. Pile 2, angels, God, source, what wants to be known? The World. That is the resolution energy, the bow on the package that ties up loose ends and completes a cycle, a phase, and moves you into the next level of experience. So maybe some of you are really going through this leveling up process and moving into your independence, but there may be a lot of uncertainty for you within this process about what it all means, where it's all leading, and how you're navigating it. There just might be a sense of, confusion there. 3 of Pentacles. Some of this might be related to work life, what you're wanting to build work-wise, and how it connects with like institutions. Oh, I was getting financial institutions earlier. So that might be coming through around a situation for some of you. And like we have this independent 9 of Pentacles, which is all about you owning yourself, being your own boss kind of thing. But then the Hierophant, it's at odds with this Hierophant, which is all about like institution and a hierarchy and doing things under somebody else's reign. So for some of you, you might be closing out a cycle of like working under somebody else or working for other people or within an institution or a system. And you might be called to actually move more into your independent energy, but you might not know how that's happening because of the past and everything that you've known and been focused on up until this point. So it could be work related for some of you. It could also be like spiritually related, because these cards are also very spiritual in nature. So it can talk about your spiritual independence versus being a part of a greater spiritual community, organization, system that maybe you're feeling confused or in the dark about, and not knowing how to bridge the gap between your independence and something that you've been a part of maybe for a while, or a sense of tradition in your life, and where there's community involved and other people involved who are a part of the same sort of institution are involved here. Nine of Swords. We have the 8 and 9 of Swords. So there's a lot of anxiety and concern and worry about some sort of institutional or traditional implication in your life and how that is connected to your independence or in the way of your own independence. Again, work or spiritually related or community related in some type of way. Let's get more, God. What does pile 2 need to know about this situation? Page of Pentacles. Interesting. There's a need to grow beyond a perceived limitation for sure here, showing up in your energy, pile 2. There's this desire and need to grow beyond what's been set up for you now. And it feels like growing in your own energy and not about the system or the Starman, which is the Magician card. This is about understanding that you have everything you need to create what you desire and to create the reflection of who you truly are and project that out into the world in a meaningful way and in a way that produces a desired experience. So you already have everything you need, meaning you have the talents, you have the skills, you have whatever resources you need. And if you feel like you don't have them, it means that you can easily bring them in beyond maybe what your mind is telling you, that it's not as difficult to transcend whatever maybe limitation you feel like you're in now. It's not as difficult to transcend that, but it is about taking a step outside of that. To growing beyond it, you need to take a step outside and actually implement, practically speaking, something that will actually bring in a new energy. The Fool. In this deck, it's the Sacred Clown. We're using the Starman David Bowie deck here. So you guys have a very colorful spirit that is playful, that is unorthodox at its core in your truest divine essence. There is something unconventional or unorthodox, and there's been a sense that like you have to be careful with how you show up, because there's a sense that like you could get burned if you were to show up the wrong way with the wrong community or the wrong people or the wrong crowd. Needing to be very careful with how you're presenting yourself, and there's the need to want to liberate yourself in some way coming through and shine your light here and focus your light in a new direction that's creative and passionate and expressive. It's an honest expression of who you are, and that's really needing to come forth here. But again, with the Devil card here, there's some either self-imposed or institutionally imposed or externally imposed restriction that is being like bought into here, that has kept you sort of at a lower level of existence when you want to like free yourself and liberate yourself, but you felt trapped. Now this can possibly talk about a relationship as well here, feeling stuck and trapped in a relationship and overthinking it and wanting to free yourself and become independent and single. Take that as it resonates, because the Hierophant is like a traditional marriage type of situation. Three of Pentacles talks about the things that you've built with another person. So again, some of you might feel trapped in a situation like that and want to free yourself, but not know how. take it as it applies. It's not going to show up the same for everybody. Yeah, so I'm getting with this Three of Swords and Seven of Pentacles that some of you guys have like formed a numbness to life in a certain way because you've had to just harden your shell in order to like be and exist within whatever confines you felt limited by up until this point. And again, there's this need to like get in touch with something greater than your current situation or previous situation. And there's a feeling of having developed an armor to hide away the authentic self, the free, liberated spirit that is there, but it's like it's had trouble getting out because of like this need to develop a thick skin in whatever situation that you've been in, but it's caused anxiety, a buildup of anxiety, because that energy doesn't go anywhere. When there's armor built up around it, it just sort of bounces around and doesn't really have an outlet or anywhere to go. Which is why I think a creative outlet is needed, or some type of outlet for an expression of passion and energy and intensity. That can look so many different ways for different people, but it might be coming through in ways that you don't like, but it can also come through in ways that you do like and that feel liberating and freeing. And this is all about needing to allow time to really step out and, again, taking things a step at a time, little by little, stepping out of the situation so that you can see that there's a reality where you don't need this armor. Because if you were to just leave this situation, for some of you, if this is resonating, you would still have the armor moving into the next thing, and thus you would attract a situation where that armor is needed, or where you are perceived that you need the armor, even if it's not needed. So that's why it's important to first take those small steps out so that you can see, oh, there's a reality in which I can remove the armor with certain people, with certain communities, in certain contexts, right? And it just feels like you've been burned before in some way by whatever institution, by whatever confines you felt limited by. It could even be friends for some of you, a community of friends that you felt burned by. And just feeling alone, even surrounded by other people, is the energy that's coming through. Feeling alone, or for some of you, feeling like cast out or exiled because of who you really are, thus leading to a depression in your life. There's an energy of like feeling depressed because of a repressed light within you that wants to be free. Okay, what else is coming through for Pile 2 angels for their highest good? Strength. You guys have been so strong in this process of feeling limited and like holding it all in. It's required a great deal of strength, but there's also strength in like allowing yourself to transcend this current reality or previous reality and like take those steps out into a new reality. That takes strength as well. So the message coming through is, if you've had the strength to endure what you've endured up until this point, any situation that's caused you anxiety or confusion or a lack of seeing things clearly, like it's taken a lot of strength to be in that energy. So you already know, going back to that Magician card, you already know that you have the strength within you to then experience the opposite end of the spectrum, which is new energy, fresh energy, vulnerability, liberation, creative expression, sexual expression, whatever it may be for you, spiritual expression, whatever it may be for you. You already have implemented and used that strength in your previous situation, so you can take that with you, but just utilize it in the opposite way. But it's still coming from that same well of power and wherewithal within you to push ahead. Yeah, Ten of Wands, there's just been a pressure on you, or a weight on you, weighing you down, making you tired, making you like not see the path ahead and see a better way. But there is a better way. You are being guided towards this transcendence and ascension here back towards your higher power and what that means for you, your highest expression of the divine. Five of Pentacles. Yeah, needs not being met in a certain situation and feeling lackful in some way, feeling needy in some way, and maybe feeling attached to whatever sort of has come your way that feels like a glimmer of hope or like a little preview of the light or liberation, sort of clinging on to those little things, but it really not being enough and still feeling stuck or trapped and kept at a lower level, feeling victimized in some way is coming through. But we have the Death card here, so there's a need for a transformation in your life, and this is what's happening. If you're viewing this reading and resonating, you are in the process of moving through a transformation or being ushered into transformation, where things moving forward look different than they have in the past for you, where your experience feels, looks, moves differently, behaves differently than your life has previously. And there's a real need for that in your soul, it feels like. Okay, so what is guidance, more insight? The Alien, which is the Hermit. So some of you guys have felt very, very isolated and different than your surroundings. You've felt alone, and this is like the universe's way of forcing you to really get in touch with yourself, be really self-attuned, and to learn how to tune out the external noise. It's kind of like this void space, and sometimes that can feel like a depression or just an emptiness. But again, it's because there's this need to empty the environments and energies that have been around you that have not been reflective of who you really are. And this is asking you to get in touch with your higher power and with spirituality, your version of spirituality, which is why you're drawn to this reading, if this is resonating, and this insight, because you're ready for that, like, validation and that, like, permission to move through your process as you are, in your authenticity, in your truth, and to continue tuning out anything that is not, like, moving towards liberation, basically. That's really feels like the key and the theme here for you, your pal 2, is leaning in away from stuck confinement energy and moving towards liberation, however that looks for you. And again, you might not know how that looks. For some of you with the Eight of Wands, it can involve travel or relocation of some sort. Or online communication with others, with community that may be online that you connect with, like on YouTube here. If you don't feel like you have that in your physical reality, because we have physical needs not being met here with the Five of Pentacles. So that's, that online movement and communication as well. Watching content that really connects with who you are in your internal world, and just letting that kind of be those first initial steps that move you outside of the bubble. My head is hurting. Some of you may experience headaches, and it's because of psychic energies around you that feel like they put pressure on you, or an aspect of you that has put pressure on yourself, or it just feels like pressure. What is this? This is the Queen of Pentacles. Wow. This is about embodiment and creating your own sense of abundance from within, and what that looks like and feels like in the body. And this can talk about going into nature. It can talk about body practices and the ways in which you're investing in yourself with the foods that you eat and nourishing yourself. Because if you're not nourishing yourself and you're not being nourished by the other people around you, then it's like what you're being drained, right? And it's like you really want to be nourishing of yourself right now. We do have the Wheel of Fortune showing up here. So like that Death card energy, this is about changes for the better happening in your life. It just involves seeing everything and seeing what you desire, which is to be free. If you don't know what that looks like externally, or the, nitty-gritty details of it, it can just start with that energy and intention and desire within yourself. I want to feel a certain way. I want to feel liberated. I want to feel safe amongst other people and community. I want to feel seen. I want to feel like I can creatively express myself in the way that's authentic to me and not feel judged by it, or feel like I'm received in doing that. And it's when you start with those desires and intentions and make them conscious, then you're consciously beginning to co-create that new reality, which brings in changes and shifts that improve your life, even if that looks like initial breakdowns or changes or transitions. What else, Spirit, for pile 2? 5 of Cups. Yeah, the need to process some sadness, and this is just highlighting that depression energy again. So I'm so sorry, guys, if you've been experiencing this and have felt alone or sad in any kind of way, not having emotional needs met by your surroundings and not knowing how to give that to yourself because no one taught you, that kind of thing. The Chariot, more like movement forward, progress, changes, like things are moving forward for you as you're just connecting with your own energy. That's really the key, connecting with your own energy. You liberation is an inside job. You do it from the inside out. So, you going within is really doing more than you even know consciously. I am seeing the Queen of Wands showing up at the bottom of the deck. So again, that's your creativity and desire to like shine and express and be seen in your truth. Like that is screaming from within you to come out. And this is an attractive energy. When you are in your power, pile 2, you're very attractive and magnetic, and you might not have felt that way for a while, or, other people around you may have not reflected that back to you, but it is true. It's a true aspect of your soul. Underneath, we have the 2 of Cups, which talks about that there are connections out there that are a match to you, that can emotionally see you and receive you and give to you and love you and just have this equal balance, give and take, and appreciation and care and love for one another. That is in your energy. It's just about changing up the frequency around you and within you so that you can match up to that emotionally. Hanged Man, releasing the old, surrendering to your truth, and just allowing your perspective of yourself, your reality, and life to completely flip upside down. We have the King of Wands matching up with your Queen of Wands. So some of you, there may be a love connection in your reality already, or that wants to come through for you as you're embracing your truth and liberating yourself and releasing something that is no longer for you. There's someone that will meet you there intimately, passionately, creatively also. I'm going to get cards now from this holographic Rider-Waite, and we'll get some final messages for you. Final messages for pile 2. I know that this is just sort of, I want to get advice and some clarity for you, because I know that this is just sort of talking about like what already has been. It feels like some of you need this validation to be seen and known and heard. Your environment's definitely being highlighted as an aspect that wants to come back into balance and harmony and union, how your environment is extremely important. This is also that soulmate energy again showing up with the 1111 card. Ace of Pentacles can talk about a new home, a new job, a new environment that wants to come through. So maybe some of you, it would be good to switch up your job or switch up the environment that you're in, the community that you're around. It just depends on your own individual situation. But there is good out there for you. That's what this is telling me very clearly. There's so much good for you outside of the known bubble that you've been in for a while. Ten of Pentacles, yeah. This is like happy home life that's possible for you, happy community that's possible for you. A lot of abundance that wants to come through for you that you are meant for on the soul level. And it is coming. It is coming in, guys. It just takes time. It's a process of you moving towards it and it moving towards you and meeting it in the middle as your energy and frequency is lining more up with like something that's long term, like in the big picture of your life. And it involves healing heartbreak from the past, from past relationships, from past ways in which you felt burned or like your needs haven't been met here. And it's about learning how to continue meeting your own needs and knowing that you're abundant and trusting that all of your needs are coming in. It's about being very willing to be very honest with yourself and with other people around you about how you're being impacted by your reality, by the reality around you, and to not take BS, and to just be very clear about what it is that you want and what it is that you don't want. And if you don't want to continue experiencing something, and you need more, then it's important to see that and embody that. And there's a lot of over analyzing and overthinking happening in the energy here again. So let me get more on that. It's just being mindful of the spinning thoughts, and this is like spirit just coming through to acknowledge this and say it's happening because the thoughts are associated and attached to pain. And so once you can kind of learn how to make adjustments or pivot in your focus so that or even dive into the pain and heartbreak and meet it where it is so that it can finally be honored, seen, acknowledged, and loved, then the overactive thoughts that are actually connected directly with the wounds can actually start to go away without you even trying. Basically meaning the key to stop being overthinking and worrying and being anxious and depressed is to just dive into the wound itself and just be there for it. That's what this is saying. Be your own divine mother presence and be very present with the pain that wants to show up within you, and really experience the discomfort and the sensations that are showing up in the body as it comes forward. Maybe I think I was seeing cannabis for this pile at the beginning. So maybe actually some of you may be using that consciously, or you might be able to use that consciously as a healing tool to dive into the deeper wound and to ask angels and guides to guide you into the deeper wound so that you can just feel it and not judge it. And then that will help the pain dissolve. Knight of Wands, more of that creative pent-up energy that really wants to like go and move and express. And that, again, sometimes it can express in unhealthy ways because it's still sort of coming through the lens of the pain. And this is opposing this like need to just like react in certain ways. Some of you might feel reactive to situations in your life, but this situation is again saying if you take it slow and take it easy on yourself, you're getting to where you need to go and you are moving in a better direction. And it's going to create a sense of safety and stability for you if you take things, again, a step out at a time and not be reactive or impulsive, because that will just compound any anxiety and worry that might already be there, and it just sort of adds to the pile of that. So taking things easy, taking it easy on yourself, taking things slow, that's really what it's about, being practical at the same time. Protecting your energy is coming through big time, and with this Two of Swords and Temperance card, it's really saying that it's okay to not know everything about where you're going just yet. It's just more so about the energy of healing and patience and presence. That's more of the focus right now for you. Yes, take the small steps out, but only as you're healing a layer and like loving a darker aspect of yourself that wants to be seen and acknowledged. And that will help you kind of take the next step. And then you heal another layer and you take the next step. And the path will reveal itself to you guys. Okay. Hopefully something in this message resonated. I am starting to do personal readings again. If you're interested, there's an email down below. And I'll just let you know what my availability is like and when I can help with that. But hopefully something in this message like validated, resonated, and felt healing or clarifying in some way. And I appreciate you so much for being here and watching. And I will see you next time. Okay, guys? Take care. Bye. Hi, Pal 3. So you guys chose the Palmarosa oil here. Your intuition guided you to this pile. So we're going to put that there. And we're going to be looking at whatever message Spirit wants to bring through at this time. It might not be the message that you expect to get. It might be very much the message that you are expecting to receive right now based on how the universe is currently communicating with you. Oftentimes these readings tell us you know, what we need to be knowing, and so it kind of inundates us with the same message from multiple different sources, but sometimes it'll be a message out of left field that will still really resonate. Of course, it's a general reading, so if it doesn't resonate or if certain messages don't resonate, then those just aren't your messages. And if, you know, the style of reading is not for you, please click off now. I am very honest and direct. I talk about challenging issues. I talk about shadow issues, and I always bring it back to the self and self-examination, self-love, self-development, and self-growth. And so my audience tends to be those who are willing to reflect and grow and lean into love and the highest potential timeline without always externalizing things. So I just felt called to say that in this pile. And let's tap into you guys, pile 3. For some reason, I'm seeing a porcupine or like a hedgehog. I'm yawning. Oh, God, sorry. I just got really tired. I've been channeling all day for people, so some of you guys might be feeling tired, and with that porcupine energy might feel a little bit prickly or edgy, or like you're keeping people at a distance for some of you and you want to curl up in a ball like a hedgehog, hide away. But let's see what else is coming through. I'm seeing computers. I'm seeing a computer, like working at a computer all day, typing at a computer, doing computer work, programming type of stuff. Serenity, the word serenity is coming through, needing peace, really needing peace and stillness and quiet and rest. For some of you, your soul may be craving that or needing that, even if your conscious mind is not wanting that. What else? I'm hearing showboat. So showboating, that can kind of be like putting up a front to show how great things are or how great you are. Some of you might feel like you need to put up a front in some type of way to be like, oh, hi, you know, everything's good. But in reality, you need a break and you need to rest and you need to kind of just heal or settle a little bit and just take some time. Any other messages for anybody else watching this pile, God? I just saw a nail gun or like an earring gun thing. Or like a glue gun, some type of gun that is like for something not shooting, but like for doing some kind of job. I'm seeing a hammer now. So some of you, I don't know if you're into like construction or design or building or fixing or something. I'm hearing drumming, but for some reason when I'm thinking of like construction or building, it reminds me of like the percussive hits over and over that create a sort of drumming sound. So that could just be that coming through as well. But drumming could also be relevant in one of your lives. And that building energy can be working on yourself, feeling like you are under construction, or you need to go through a period where you can just go under construction and not really be needed by anybody else. Take it as it resonates. I don't know. I kind of want to see what this card is. I shuffled for this, by the way. 7 of Swords. So this is like wanting to get away from something. Like I was saying with that hedgehog porcupine, it's being a little bit edgy and prickly and wanting to get away from something, to avoid something, to hide from something. This figure's running away from perceived attack or actual attack in some type of way, or from onlookers. These kind of remind me of like eyes watching. So feeling the need to escape like other people's perception or view of you. Some of you may have gone through some difficulties and are just like needing an escape, right? So that's just confirming what I was picking up channeling wise. But I'm going to pull from the Starman Tarot, which is a David Bowie deck that I really find fascinating and colorful. And we're going to get more, okay? So whatever, this is the message that you guys need to hear for your highest good. Sometimes that can just be validation, honestly, of your experience right now. To feel seen and heard, and like spirit is communicating through you. When we watch these readings and they deeply resonate, it's spirit showing us that they see us and that we're not alone because other people collectively are having a similar experience. And that can be very healing. But let's see here. Pile 3. Nope, that doesn't want to come out. Pile 3, angels. The Empress. So this is about leaning into your feminine energy, resting and relaxing into peace and receptivity and abundance and groundedness, and anchoring in your body and just leaning into a sense that everything's okay. And so you may be seeking an escape to really settle into who you really are in your divine feminine essence, and to really tune back into your own intuition, guys, is coming through. Getting a creative energy for some of you as well watching. So some of you may feel the need to like get away from something so that you can tap back into some creative reserve within yourself is coming through, and like refertilize your creative soil, so to speak. Okay. Pile 3. What does pile 3 need to hear right now? 6 of Swords, getting away, moving away. This is an escape. This is moving away from conflict energy into peaceful waters. This can also be travel. So some of you are really needing to travel, will be traveling, are really going to be gaining something from a getaway is coming through. I know it's funny. I never think about that when I think of the 7 of Swords. I think of this card as someone who's lying, being inauthentic, but I'm really, just because of the channeled messages and how I'm viewing it now, feels like this real need to get away from it all and heal through that process, and discover something new about yourself, and kind of come into contact with God in a new capacity is coming through, to connect with spirit in a new way is coming through. So this type of energy can show up in many different ways. You could be wanting to get away from certain people that you've been around, or from a job, from just the normal day-to-day routine that you've been sort of in, and needing, or just getting away from some type of conflict within self or with someone else, and just needing peace. It doesn't just have to be a getaway or vacation, but it can just talk about the need to move away from something and be in your own energy and with God. What is this? Ace of Pentacles, a new opportunity opening up for this getaway to happen, and for your material needs to be taken care of in the process of that, and for a new material opportunity just to present itself in general. So this could be a new job. For some of you, maybe you need to get away from an old job or a job that isn't serving you anymore or hasn't served you, and something new will be coming in for you as you honor yourself in that way. Because again, we're moving in a better direction here. And when you honor yourself, the universe honors you as well. When you take care of yourself, the universe follows suit and reflects that back. So that's really pretty good. What is this? The Sacred Fool. Yeah, this is all about you guys being on a new journey of self-discovery and creativity and self-liberation and seeing your own colors. You know, some of you for the first time seeing your true colors and seeing them be actually expressed outwardly. This is going in a new direction, even if it feels risky, but it's knowing that you will be protected and caught at the same time by the universe. Because it feels like some of you need perspective, or you're wanting a different perspective on life so that you can kind of free yourself up. Some of this energy is reminding me of pile 2, so that pile might resonate for some of you. But this pile feels a little bit more in a healed position or in a better position, or, you know, I don't want to say better, but just in a, yeah, you are more in a position to like move in a better new direction, positive direction. 10 of Cups, there it is. Yeah. You're moving towards more contentment and love through getting away from the previous or current reality. It's actually inviting in the like glimmers of a potential long-term fulfilling situation, whatever that is. That can be like a new environment to be in. That can be a new relationship to connect with. That can be just a new vision for your life that feels emotionally fulfilling on every level that maybe you don't fully have access to now, or you feel like you can't see yet because you haven't taken a step outside yet, but you want to and you are being guided to. And for some of you, you really will, because the Ace of Pentacles talks about the practical application of this actually happening successfully, taking that step out. This does feel like the more lighter aspect of pile 2, or like this feels like the next step of after pile 2. So pile 2 might represent your past energy. And this is like representing you now, or if you're coming from pile 2 and also resonating with this is like the next step, right? So pile 3, angels, what? King of Wands, that passion, that exuberance for life, and that building of a new confidence, and like really stepping into your truth and your confidence and your power, and not being afraid to shine anymore. Something about like removing yourself from a situation or leaving a situation is like really putting you into your power. And if you are divine feminine and you're open to like this 10 of Cups energy with someone that, you know, you want to connect with, that is being emphasized here as well, with this masculine energy of the King of Wands showing up here. Yeah, this is someone who has space for how much creative power you have in your intensity, and they allow you that space to grow and to express without you needing to worry about like threatening somebody or making somebody else insecure, thus making you feel low and insecure. This is someone who can handle everything that you are and what you have within you. And who's masculine, who can hold space for that feminine aspect. Or you can flip these polarities as it applies to you, where if you're the more masculine, you're bringing in that feminine to really you know, hold space for. 4 of Cups. I don't know why with this 4 of Cups I always get travel energy with this, like Christ the Redeemer from Brazil and all these different energies showing up. It's like there's so much potential for where you could go next in your life and for the things, the possibilities that are coming in. And it just feels like you have not been tapped into those for a while in your life. You felt maybe stuck in certain ways, with just sort of the glimmer or idea of what could be next. But maybe those things being a little in the headspace and in the fantasy realm only. But it feels like, again, something is grounding and anchoring into the physical reality because an opportunity has been granted to you where you have this ability to get outside of the routine or outside of the norm. And it's going to surprise you. Whatever's coming through this expression or through this experience, sorry, it's going to surprise you and maybe come at you out of left field a little bit. It could be this masculine presence because we do have the Ace of Cups showing up at the bottom of the deck, which is all about a heart opening that makes you feel alive, elated, like your heart is soaring here, like you feel free and liberated, and like a fire within you is finally being lit and activated. And maybe it's through this King of Wands or this Empress energy, and it's just a new life being born from maybe a time of darkness for you or stuckness. So something is being unclogged in your energy right now, guys, which is really promising. And again, it's sort of pointing the way towards a longer term happiness that maybe you haven't felt like you've had access to up until this point. So let's get more for pile 3, angels, God, source, for the collective and the person watching pile number 3. Yeah, I'm seeing the color green, which is all about love and heart chakra. And here we have the Two of Cups to confirm that. So you guys are going to be meeting somebody soon. If you haven't already, there's someone in your field, in the quantum fields, in your soul's energy that's already lined up with you emotionally, spiritually, where they can see you and hold space for you and love you and appreciate you as you are. And you seeing them in their light and their, either appreciating them for their masculine energy or their feminine energy, whichever way they lean more. You just really honoring that, and you both coming together in a really joyous way that has a lot of emotional potential for growth and a lot of love shared. And this just makes so much sense after seeing that Ace of Cups showing up. So there's a new emotional life that's being birthed right now through whatever process you're going through, which is really beautiful. The Star, putting you on a really optimistic path where you have this sense that, okay, I can trust the path I'm being guided down. I can trust spirit. I can trust myself. I can trust that new things are coming in because finally you're getting a taste of positivity and like something beyond the known. The Star is kind of that dreamy, starry, like celestial energy that feels beyond the physical world. So it creates a sense of wonder within you, within the people that you're around, where finally it's like certain systems within are coming back online. You start to feel connected with life and with God, especially. That's coming through once again very strongly. A relationship with God being reignited in a whole new dimension, and a whole new dimension of trust being ignited as well. The Knight of Swords. So this is someone rushing into your life. Somebody who is here to revolutionize your life, to change your life. Someone who will stand out in their energy once again. And there will be something very unique about them that you will admire. Yeah, they're moving in quite quickly and out of the blue and suddenly, and they're very direct and communicative as well with like intentions, what they're wanting that might come across as very intense for some of you. Strength. It feels like this connection, this person has had to be strong in their life or is very strong. They're a strong container of masculinity. They really go for what they want. They see what they like and want and go for it. It also feels like this is the universe and Mother Earth bringing these two souls together. ushering them in on the same path as well. And it feels like this person's presence is going to instill strength within you and vice versa as well. It feels like maybe both of you have been through some similar wounds or mirroring wounds as far as relationships go, or as far as like maybe not meeting people who are on your level. So kind of feeling restricted as far as relationship or fulfillment in some way. But it feels like that's shifting and changing. This is the Four of Pentacles. So this is a new foundation being laid for a new reality that's coming through in your life, pile 3. And this is also, it's interesting because I'm not really getting an energy of protecting yourself, but Four of Pentacles can be a card of self-protection. So this might be a aspect of you that's still guarded in a certain sense, holding your cards close to your chest, not knowing how to fully be vulnerable, but this connection coming in and sort of pushing you a little bit into vulnerability. But again, I'm more so getting like a material foundation being set for a new reality coming through here. There's that new reality with that pentacle there. At the bottom of the deck, Wheel of Fortune, prosperous changes coming in that are destined. You being guided on the path that you're on and making the choices and decisions to, you know, go down certain paths that are on purpose. The universe intuitively has been guiding you down these paths to shift things for the better in your life and bring through a sense of abundance, love, that connection with life again. Yeah, death. A transformation is occurring in your life, pile 3, where things moving forward are going to look quite different than they have leading up to now, and as you're embarking on a new path, taking a leap step into a new direction, maybe going on a trip, you know, for some of you, or just taking a risk in moving in a direction that feels right to you, even if it doesn't seem logical at first. But you are transforming, and it's not always comfortable, and your battle scars are always revealed to you. As you're transforming, you see the pain. As you're sort of moving out of it and into something new and better. We have the Nine of Swords at the bottom of the deck. So again, this process can trigger up some anxiety and fears and worries and concerns. Am I going to get hurt again? Am I walking into a trap? Is this another lesson? You know, that kind of stuff. Five of Swords, self-worth issues coming up and being highlighted, just feeling like things won't work out again because of the way things have gone in the past, or just attacking the self through the mind and like projecting out negative outcomes in some type of way because you've been very hurt with this Three of Swords showing up. You've been very hurt since childhood. You haven't had certain needs met, and this was showing up in pile 2 as well. Not having certain needs met and feeling emotionally, spiritually isolated in certain ways, and just sort of taking that as the status quo, as normal. And so again, when something good comes your way, it can trigger up this stuff, which is just normal. And all of the piles today have touched on this energy. So collectively, this is coming up as we're moving into positive changes. It's just a natural part of this process for us to re-experience some fear and insecurity. And it's good, actually. Yeah, Five of Pentacles. I'm not going to have enough. What about money? What about, you know, I've never had good things before, so I don't know how I can hold space for that. I don't know what that looks like or what that feels like. I don't know how to behave or respond in that situation. I don't know how, I don't necessarily trust myself, but I also have trouble trusting another person because of maybe the type of energies that I've been investing my focus in prior. And again, projecting out negative outcomes is coming through, but also on a deeper level, deeply craving this energy and feeling that empty space within that is wanting to invite that in And look, the Ace of Cups showing up again at the bottom of the deck, which is just that craving for this heart opening that is destined to happen for you, pile 3. This is happening whether you like it or not. It's just, as it's happening, it just purges up the insecurity. And that's just a part of the package deal that is undeniable. But it's okay. When we realize that it's okay, it can be a little less scary. It's still not comfortable, but we don't have to get rocked completely by it. You know what I mean? Queen of Cups, all about flowing and being kind with yourself and compassionate with yourself and everything that you've experienced up until this point. And being patient and compassionate with yourself that, yes, new energy is coming into my life. I am adjusting to that. Even if it's extremely positive, I am adjusting to what that feels like and looks like. And it's okay to be in that process. And I have compassion for myself and I have compassion for everybody involved. And it's about, again, leaning into your divine feminine, really, truly, which is about receptivity and allowing the stuff to come up, but also allowing the good stuff in and allowing your emotions to flow so that you can release things that have been trapped within you and you've held on to for a very long time. Because I feel like maybe for some of you, your energy tends to cling on to and hold on to negative energy because it's felt like it's all you could get. And so you hung on to it because, you know, if that's all you know, you want to hang on to the known. The ego wants to hold on to the known and familiar, even if it's negative. We have the World card. So more world travel showing up for you guys. More resolution and full circle energy coming up for you, where you're completing one phase of life and you're moving into this next phase. You're leveling up, you're graduating spiritually into your divine feminine aspect, into love, into abundance, into connection. So that's really, really amazing. Okay, I'm actually going to pull a few cards now from my other tarot deck. And this is the holographic Rider-Waite. And we will get some more messages and then close out your reading. Angels, God, source for pile 3, what wants to be known for them at this time? What wants to be known for pile 3? Oh, 2 cards came out. Wow, soulmate connection, past life connection that is extremely emotionally fulfilling. That is a wish fulfilled that maybe you didn't even know that this was possible for you, but it's happening. Like, you're going to meet somebody and they're going to instantly recognize you and you're instantly going to recognize them. And there's going to be an instant sense of warmth and familiarity there and just flow there emotionally. And it's going to feel so right and so good when it shows up. Again, this opportunity is anchoring in the physical dimension. This is not a fantasy. It's not a thought in your head. This is real and it's grounding and it's happening. But it's happening through the universe. You can't control this process here. It's being introduced to you through whatever process you're already in naturally. And it's about trusting God with this. Wheel of Fortune, again, more prosperous change being highlighted here with the Lovers card at the bottom of the deck. So this is divine union showing up, a very, very strong soulmate connection coming forward into your life that is bringing change and prosperity. This cannot be communicated clearly enough. I mean, wow, the universe is being very clear here. The Fool. And that, again, that new adventure being reiterated and how it feels a little risky because it is so new and it's change, but it's positive change. The Sun, more travel, more going out into the world and experiencing love and life. And it's like, it's amazing getting back in touch with your inner child. This is one of the most positive cards in the deck. And paired, you had the 10 of Cups, right? 10 of Cups, 2 of Cups, the Sun, the 9 of Cups. I mean, like, Ace of Cups showing up multiple times, 6 of Cups, Wheel of Fortune, the Fool. Guys, it's okay to trust this path, this process. It's okay to trust this new positive energy coming in, even if it feels uncomfortable or if there's maybe some residual resistance. Some of you might just see this and be like, bring it on. I'm so ready. I'm so excited, you know, and that's amazing. But we're all human and we all have histories, and some stuff is just bound to come up in the process, and that's totally, totally okay. Yeah, some past sadness and pain comes up as really good stuff is coming in. It can also bring up some regret from the past, or some fears, or, you know, ways in which we've had shame, or, you know, hurt ourselves in the process. Yeah, that's really showing up. Five of Swords, self-worth issues again, feeling defeated by life. And I'm noticing this Five of Pentacles. We have the fives, 555, big change coming into your life being highlighted here. Maybe two more messages just to close things out. Angels, to close things out for pile 3. Lovers, again, they're just re-emphasizing this connection that's moving towards you. Knight of Cups, an emotionally open person wanting to give their cup to you, and it just feels guided by angels, and it'll come out of the blue as you're kind of embarking down a new path. I mean, it's really the moon, and you're not seeing how this is happening. This is like, yeah, king energy, someone who can emotionally hold space for you as well, guys. So this is like very clear, and I'm really excited for you to embrace this and open up to this, to receiving this, to flowing and allowing, and even allowing the unknown or unknown aspects of your subconscious to come up, to be seen, loved, cleared, whatever integrated, and acknowledged emotionally by yourself and by another. That's really coming through strongly. So this is really positive, guys. I am doing personal readings if you needed clarity, any further clarity on this situation or any other situation. You can send me an email that is in the description box below, and we can just talk about availability, and yeah, I would love to connect. So guys, take care. Thank you so much for being here. I will see you in the next one. Bye.